Welcome on today's conversation on the future of work, where AI isn't just a buzzword, but a business driver. This is Lenovo Work Reborn, live in Orlando. Well, Oli, thank you so much for coming by the Work Reborn podcast booth. I'm really excited to have you here. For those who don't know who you are, give us a brief introduction of where you work and what your job title is.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here. So, Oli Giordimaina, Chief Product Officer for Lakeside Software. We're in the DEX space, and we're essentially an AI company that focuses on solutions to improve user experience.
So I thought because you have this unique role and we also have a partnership with FIFA that we would start our conversation off with a little bit of a fun football themed topic, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
So in every company and every role, everyone plays an important part behind the scenes to make sure that the technology is doing what it needs to do, okay? So let's pretend that at Lakeside is the football team, okay?
Yeah.
What position would you be and why, and what are you doing to make it so?
Well, first of all, I'll say that it's very refreshing to come to the US and talk about football.
Yes.
So that's a huge positive, and I love the first question there. Trying to switch and apply the context of my work role into my one of my passions, which is football, it's never something I've thought about. If I was to put myself, I think, into any position on a pitch in equation to work, it would be the center of the midfield, so it would be the center of the pitch. Not that I have the energy for that physically in a real world, but
miles every day on the pitch.
But I would think of it as being in the middle of everybody, right? And that really means taking the players out as stakeholders. If you were to look at it that way, you've got a line of defense that you kind of build from with the engineers, and then in front of you, you've got the attack, which is the go-to-market, right? And you're the guy that is in the middle, guiding the engineers on how to build forward, and then providing that guidance and feeding it through into the go-to-market and the sales team so they can ultimately go and score the goals and win the market.
So AI then, is it the striker, the goal, or the coach? Where does AI fit in itself then? Where do you think?
Yeah, I mean, AI it's the chemistry across the team, right? It's the way that the players interact. It's the formations of which they set up in.
Right.
And it's the thing that gets the ball from back to front in the most effective manner. And it also makes sense of the tactics.
Yeah.
And translates them into things that everybody can understand and apply.
Right. So thank you for doing this fun,
This is the best way I've ever talked about AI.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
For this fun conversation, I've recently actually become a football fan myself.
Oh.
So this partnership with FIFA is really great. I've been following the Wrexham team,
really?
Just because of that documentary I've been watching.
Everybody has. Yeah, everybody has.
It's been so exciting. But you know what? The reason why I bring it up is fan engagement is, in my opinion, is very similar to employee engagement, right? When the team does well, we do well and we celebrate, right?
True.
So at an organization, research that you're trying to bring to market with a product, how are you considering that employee engagement within the way that you are looking at these new endeavors?
Yeah, it's a great question. And Wrexham's a great example of understanding not necessarily your buyer, but your end user, right? How do you engage with every level of the organization, whether it's your internal employees or the employees that you are serving indirectly as a vendor through a customer, right? And you have to be able to speak their language, understand what success looks like for them, understand their problems, and align with their goals and aspirations where it coincides with the solutions that you're providing. So the ultimate validation for any software vendor, right, for any hardware vendor, or and that's becoming a shared space, if you will, in many areas now, right, is the satisfaction long-term of the user, right? Have you changed positively their experience, the efficiency that surrounds it? Have you solved a problem that they are willing to pay to solve because it's acute enough? And are you providing a continuous level of improvement, right? Fixing one problem in the first month isn't enough, right? It's got to be a continuous improvement. It's the same with Wrexham, right? They went through the first division. Doesn't mean that the guys who bought it step away and say, right, job done now. It's right, okay, what's the next division and the next division until we're in the Premier League, and then you keep going and going. So continuous improvement and never, ever being complacent about the success is one thing, and then being customer obsessed is the other, right? Being obsessed with your employees and your end user success is something that's critical for in any walk of life where it concerns success and driving corporate value.
Right, because just like in the game, this is not a common known thing, for American sports, but you're always at the threat of, relegation,
Yeah.
right? So like basically being demoted in work,
Yeah.
right? And I mean that in a sense, how does it translate to work? Well, if we're not constantly adapting and learning and growing, I think every business is at threat of being left behind, right?
Yeah.
So when you are like really researching what features to bring into the product or how you can stand out or how you differentiate, like what are you considering in order to stand out, and how does Lakeside stand out so that it's always being promoted in football terms and
Yeah.
not being left behind? Yeah.
It's a great question. Look, I mean, I believe the only constant in technology is change, right? And there are a lot of incredible vendors out there in every space of technology in the ecosystem that are doing great things to get ahead and win your business, right? So the first thing is you've got to stay paranoid, right? You're only as good as your last success. You're only as good as your last game in football terms.
Right.
You can win 10 and then you lose 10. Suddenly you've gone from the best team to the worst team. And that's the same with winning and or retaining customers, right? So how do we ensure that we stay ahead? It comes back to obsession, not just of the customer, but of the market space, and not being afraid. You've got to drive a culture of risk. And when I say risk, I mean internally, you have to enable your employees to make mistakes. The only way that you grow is, and there aren't any successful entrepreneurs, aren't there, that haven't failed, right? They've all
Right.
failed. And you can apply that at a micro level to engineering, to development, to solutions, right? You've got to experiment. You've got to be bold in what you do. You have to be extremely focused and disciplined in terms of the areas that you want to focus on and the problems that you want to solve. And then you have to be relentless in your innovation drive to solve them and be very open to approaching problems in terms of solutions in different ways. So the one thing that everybody is talking about is AI, right? Everybody is telling us, I mean, it's on every stand here, it's in every show, I mean, and the reality is a lot of people on the ground, whether they're, again, managing a fleet of laptops, whether managing a fleet of servers, whether they're setting up a new office with technology, whoever they are, whatever they're trying to achieve with tech, AI is being forced upon them, essentially, right? Whether it's the CIO telling them that they need to accelerate and they need to use AI for it, whether it's the vendor telling them that AI can make everything better. The reality is these guys are still solving problems that they were trying to solve 15 years back, right? Service desk tickets haven't changed that much. Things haven't shifted left as much as they might like. There's still Windows XP and Windows 7 out there that are trying to like. There's still devices that they don't know about floating around the system, right? So the key to any success around staying ahead is also ensuring that you meet your customers where they are in the journey and you provide the solutions for them in terms of where they are and where they want to be. So cutting edge isn't always what they want to hear. They want to hear about how you can solve business outcomes. They want to hear less about how you're doing it, more about how it will apply and what the outcomes are that they can drive and how easy it's going to be to adopt as well. So it's a fine balance, but meeting your customers where you are, especially where it concerns AI, de-risking it, moving at their pace and providing full transparency is the key.
We are basically on the same team in a way too, right?
Yeah.
And when I say we're, I mean Lakeside and Lenovo, okay? So why should our potential fans
Yeah.
invest in us? What is so unique about our partnership that makes it so successful and makes it, championship winning, if you will, to win the business in their eyes?
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's a marriage made in heaven in terms of when you look at the fundamentals of technology at the highest level, it comes down to hardware and software, right? And you think, okay, well, great. Those two stand alone, separated as entities. We've been there before with IT, right? They've been very separate concerns for separate teams. One is about uptime, one is just about delivery, maintenance, and upgrades where it concerns software, and then the device gets switched out when it breaks. The demands of enterprise employees, as well as the demands of the consumer now, have changed, right? Their tolerance for friction, for disruption, right? If you're watching Netflix and it stalls for 5 seconds, I've got a 6 and 9-year-old kid, and they're like, "What the hell's going on? You know, why is it stopped?
They're
Can you not make it work
They're
again?"
like, put on the
Yeah,
other
this is
one,
terrible.
Dad.
And
Yeah.
it's like they're asking me to pause the radio when we're in the car. People just don't have tolerance for friction anymore. Their threshold is up here. So vendors can no longer stay in their lanes exclusively where it concerns hardware and software. So what does that mean in terms of a partnership? Well, it means that you take the best hardware vendor with the experienced vendor that can look at the user experience on the device that they've been surfaced and say, okay, well, where did we start here with this device? What looks and feels good? How can we continuously improve it? And how can we proactively intercept it where there's drift from that desired state, that desired experience? And that's where Lakeside and Lenovo really come together. We can augment each other's capabilities. We can accelerate where an issue occurs in terms of the troubleshooting and time to resolution. And we can ensure that every employee is served with the right sized device based upon their persona and their particular work style analytics as well. So it's a convergence that is very much happening. But you have to have all of the data points from both the physical and virtual software aspect, and you have to have the context to apply to it. Who is the user? What are they trying to achieve? What does good look like, and how can we make it better?
Just like some of the top athletes have data on them in order to track how they're doing, that tracking, that reporting, and that performance is contingent upon results, right? And if the person doesn't run around the field at all, then we know there's a problem. So just, I'm inspired by your conversation to encourage leaders to try, track, and repeat. We took this conversation from the pitch to the cloud, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you so much, Oli.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you.
If anyone is interested in learning more about Lakeside or our partnership, let us know where to do that best. I think it's just like lakeside.com or something.
Lakeside.com, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing.
And we'd love to tell you and show you more, and also look out for future conferences, symposium, and the Ignite conference as well. A lot of exciting announcements coming up and plenty more to come with the partnership.
Ooh, maybe I'll catch you at a game sometime.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
We'll manifest that for us.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah,
Awesome.
and we can see how AI is translating onto the pitch there.
Exactly.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Thank you for listening, everyone, and enjoying this episode. Make sure you download a copy of the Work Reborn report. You can check it out in the link below or on the QR code available on the screen here. And that's a wrap. Thank you. Thanks for joining us live in Orlando for this amazing episode of Work Reborn. I've been your host, Rita Risha, and it's been a pleasure to bring you insightful conversations from around the world, especially at this event, on how we are bringing new life to the modern workplace. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to stay tuned on more ways that we are doing just that, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe our channel, and download a copy of the Work Reborn report today.
Lenovo.